Welcome to the Grade 3 Self-Paced Quarterly Curriculum Series for Inheritance and Traits. Here's our plan for the day. First, we'll take a look back at Unit 1. Then, we will welcome you to Unit 2. Then, we'll help you understand and unpack Unit 2. And then you'll be able to choose a topic to do a deeper dive on. Finally, we will have our closing for the day. This part of the day is called Looking Back. The objectives of this part of the day are to reflect on implementing Unit 1 and to explain how student The objectives of this part of the day are to reflect on implementing Unit 1 and to explain how student learning is driven by phenomena, equity, and agency. Let's start with looking at your year at a glance. The objectives of the year are to create the next generation of scientific innovators, as well as citizens who are skeptical, curious, and evidence-based thinkers, capable of making decisions that improve Let's start with looking at your year at a glance. The objectives of the year are to create the next generation of scientific thinkers, as well as citizens who are skeptical, curious, and evidence-based thinkers, capable of making decisions that improve their and their community's lives. Take a moment to read the pacing guide on the screen. As part of our Looking Back activity, we will reflect on the unit's learning goals. Remember, a unit's progress build describes the way in which students' explanations of the central phenomena should develop and deepen over the course of a unit. At the beginning of the unit, your students were working towards Progress Build Level 1. A force is a push or pull that acts between two objects. Then, students would have continued engaging in science and engineering practices to arrive at Progress Build Level 2. Forces can be touching or non-touching. Finally, students would have worked to figure out science ideas for Progress Build Level 3. More than one force can act on an object at the same time. When those forces are balanced, a still object will remain still. When those forces are unbalanced, the object will start to move. In a little while, we will discuss what it was like to teach the unit and how you supported students to learn the unit's key science ideas. Before we discuss the Unit 1 experience, I'd like for us to take a moment to also reflect on our professional learning theme for Quarter 1, which was multimodal learning. If you remember, for our Quarter 1 sessions, Skyline Science is rooted in the research-based do, talk, read, write, visualize model of learning, where students figure out science ideas in multiple modalities across thoughtful, structured lessons. Allowing students to engage in multiple ways or modalities to learn a science idea will strengthen and deepen their understanding of the science concept. Take a moment to think of the ways students engaged in doing, talking, reading, writing, and visualizing to learn one of the unit's key concepts. How did students benefit from exploring and learning science concepts and practices through a variety of modalities? Pause the video to jot down your answer or to chat with a nearby colleague. For example, here's a look at some of the multimodal learning activities in Chapter 1, listed in the Coherence flowchart. Do. In Lesson 1.2, students investigate by making blocks move. In Lesson 1.4, students play the domino video and create and analyze chain fractions. Talk. In Lesson 1.4, students discuss why the train starts to move. Read. Students read Forces All Around in Lesson 1.4. Write. In Lesson 1.4, students write a scientific explanation about the floating train. To reflect on teaching Unit 1, you will complete a slide in our participants' notebook. This is an opportunity for you to reflect on what went well in regards to teaching Unit 1. Open your participants' notebook and record your responses to the following reflection prompts. Share an example of a lesson that generated significant student engagement. 2. Share an example of how multimodal learning supported student learning. 3. What aspects of the curriculum helped students think deeply and critically, like scientists? And 4. What was a differentiation or accommodation that really helped your students with grade level learning? Pause the video now. What is a discovery you made that all new teachers should know? Jot your ideas down or discuss them with a nearby colleague. To continue our reflection on Teaching Unit 1, you will reflect on the roadblocks you overcame and the supports still needed, and complete a slide in your participant's notebook. Pause the video now. What is a challenge that you are most proud of overcoming? Jot your ideas down or discuss them with a nearby colleague.